everyone. Once again, we are here with RStudio. So in this particular video, we will again discuss about the regression model. As we are aware, कि regression model is the very and it is the most important topic of your business analytical practical paper component part. So here we will see two more questions related to the linear regression or multiple regression formation. So starting with the first question, as you can see, we have one particular data analysis and using the inbuilt data set ARIS data set in RStudio. As you have known, कि RStudio has too many inbuilt data. The one is empty cards, which we have done in the last revision class. And there is another data set which is known as ARIS, right? Basically, it is a petals of flowers data. So we have to use this data set. Then they are asking to asking three, four questions from the same data set. First, display the first head. First head mean like six major head, right? The sixth, or we can say the top six particular data, and then last tail row of the data set. We have to mention the head and tail. Okay. Second, generate the summary of statistics, all variable. We have to generate summary, that's fine. Examine the relationship between sepal length and petal length using scatter plot and correlation. And then briefly interpret the relationship as well. So this is the question number one, which is related to your ARIS data set and how we have to do this. So just start. First, we will go and start with our RStudio, the same scenario as we have discussed. There will be a four quadrant. This is your source area, console area, environment area, and your software package or plot area. So starting with the first, let's say first we load the data, and I'm mentioning here data ARIS, right? So you can see here we have ARIS. I will select tab and control enter, right? So as you can see, there is only a value, but now, okay, now click erase and you can see these are the basically, sepal length, sepal width, petal length and petal width and species, right? So these are the particular flower data. Now we have to use this. Second question was, have to mention the head and tail of the data set. Again, the RStudio. And as I have mentioned earlier as well, when we talk about the head, simply we use the head title, head, you can where your pop-ups normally. And now have to give a source, is Ares, right? Yes, control enter. So this are our six head. Like you can see here as well, six. Now it is asking for the tail, so we will write down the tail, right? And we will select tail. And again, we will give a title Iris, right? We can select like this and control enter. So now this is our tail of the particular data. So this is your all about the first part. Now they have asked for your generate a summary. Okay, so now we can generate a summary. So for summary, we will write down SUMM summary and now mention the source of data, which is Iris. At my tab and control enter. So you will get your summary here, like for sepal length, sepal width, petal length, and petal width, and so on and so far. So this is the first, second part. Now third is asking examine the relationship between sepal length and petal length using scatter plot or correlation. Okay, so first we will use the scatter plot. So as the name suggesting it is a scatter plot, so we will use a syntax plot, right? So select plot and now mention as you can see like in a plot we need two variables which is highlighted here in a question as well. You can again check out sepal length and petal length, right? So we will use the same thing here as well. Plot uh, of the data which is ARIS. Now we don't need the entire table. We need some specific one particular column. So for that, we will use dollar and we can the first as is sepal length, right? Then comma. Again, we need a second column as well. So first we will address the our main data and then tab again dollar. And now the second one was petal length, right? We will select the petal length, then comma. Now we are talking about the plot. So we have to define here X lab and Y lab. So similarly, we will write down X lab, select, and you will mention the X lab as the sepal length. So sepal length. Similarly, we will mention here our Y lab. So Y lab, select, and now we have Y lab petal length. So this is our Y lab. And now next we mention the main. Main is basically title of your diagram. So main is equal to, here we have taken the two variables, so we can write down like apple versus, we can mention like this and control enter. So you can see we have our scatter plot, which is like this, right? Similarly, you can add an AB line as well. Not required in a question, but maybe if it is written, so you can use AB line, or you can simply write down H equal to 0 and control enter, right? So this can be the particular scenario. Second, they are asking about the correlation. So first, for the correlation, you can write down COR, right? Core, COR, core, then parenthesis, and then select the variable. Again, we will select from our arrays table, arrays, and shift a dollar because we want the correlation between two specific variables. So we will select first sepal length, and then similarly the second one is, again we will write down first the source of table and then drag the specific column, which is petal length, and now we will control enter. So we can see like we have 0.8717538. So it is a positive one, which is indicating there is a strong relationship between the strong positive relationship. So we add a comment point comment equal to, and let's correct it. Comment is equal to, here we will write down the paste because we want to paste the exact value. So C inverted commas, we will write down there is a positive relationship sepal and petal length. So we can write down the comment like this and control enter. Similarly, it is as well and it is in the environment as well. If there is a positive relationship between the two variable. Okay, so now we can see our B part of this question, which is regression analysis. Now, a company want to study how many spend and product price affect the sales. Here we have a raw data, as you can see, right? Marketing spend, price, and sales. So first we have to make this particular data a data frame. Like yeah, RStudio estimate a regression model to examine the relationship between sales and marketing spend. Like in empty cars, we have certain variable, so we will utilize that. But sometimes it may be like questionnaire can be designed like in this way. They will provide you a raw data and you have to prepare your own data. So first, we will just go to RStudio. Now starting with the, and now this particular part, I just want to solve on a next sheet. So you can directly use Control Shift N. We will get your new sheet. Here we will start this question. So first we will mark it, let's say data one, and data one is equal to data dot frame. In earlier videos, I have also mentioned about this. So we can use data frame. Now in data frame, we will mention the data. First is given as marketing equal to, I will use C in a small letter and parenthesis and then write down the numbers, which is 8, comma 10, comma 12, comma 14, comma 16, comma 18, comma 20, comma 22. So this is the marketing. Then we will put comma again. And now we will start the second one. Second one is given as a price. So price. So again, price is equal to first small letter C and then parenthesis. Write down the price which is given to us as 120, 115, then 110, then we have 105, then 100, then 95, then 90, and then 85. So this was the price. So now again put a comma because we have, so now we will use the sales which is given to us. Sales equal, we'll use C and now mention the date of sales which is given as 30, 35, comma 40, comma 40, 50, 50, 60, and comma 5. This is the data which we have. Just press Control Enter. You can see our data one, and let's have a look first. This is our table, which is given us in the question paper as well. So now we will shift to our the main coding part again. So now table has been generated. So what is the requirement of the question? Just have a look. So they are first is asking to using a RStudio estimate a regression model to examine the relationship between sales and marketing spend, right? So sales and marketing, the only two variable are there. So that means you will go with a linear regression model. So simply just write down, let's say I'm writing here linear model. I'm using uh, regression linear model RLM. It's up to you, whatever you want to write down, you can mention it. Then we will mention the LM linear model parenthesis. Now you can see in a question it is not mentioned ki which is the dependent or independent variable. So as in first in first out, the first variable we will treat as dependent, another one as independent. So sale we will consider sale uh, dependent one. So first we write down the dependent and make sure as we have written sales in a caps letter. So just make sure you will also mention here sales in a capital letter. Now sales. Now you will use title, right? This is a title to use a basically to link up between dependent or independent variable. And now we will mention here our independent variable, which is given to us as marketing. So we can marketing. So after mentioning the marketing, we will mention the data, which is equal to, now data is equal to data one. That is our data name. So we will write down here data one. You can select from here as well. Here we will mention the source of data. So our data is this one, and this is indicated by data one. So we will write down here data one. Now control enter. So now we have our regression model. Next, they have asked like using this now estimate another regression model. So now we have to identify this another one where it is mentioning right marketing spend and price together influence sale. So influence sale mean that is dependent and these two variable are independent now. So again we will start with this and now we'll write down here model 2 and this is let's say regression multiple model RMM, is again LM, linear model. Then your dependent variable, sales and Fiddle. Independent variables are marketing, and we have another variable as well. So we will use a plus and mention the another variable which is given to us as price. So we will write down here price, right? And then comma, and we will give a data is equal to data one, select and control enter. So now we have the multiple regression model as well. Now they were asking for so estimate another regression model. This display and interpret model summaries. So model summaries mean we have to apply in both the cases. So I will write down first here. I will just put enter. Now summary. We will use summary, and this is for regression linear model. This one, the first one, and we will press Control Enter. So this is our summary, like estimated standard error, T value or P value. Similarly, we will do here as well, summary, and we can select summary. Now we will mention the regression multiple model and Control Enter. So this is the summary of our second particular regression model. Similarly, the next part, which is they have asked the model summary, then coefficients. So to write down the or mention the coefficients, so again we will do separately. Like first here, so CO can write down like summary, right? Summary. Mention your linear regression model, and you will use dollar and mention coefficient. Coefficient. Right. So you can write down here as well T coefficient. So for the first one, as you can see, the estimated intercept is 10, and marketing coefficient is positive slope like 2.4, right? So this is somehow indicating a positive relationship basically. So now we can directly go to the second one. Here also we will utilize summary, then select your particular model, which is regression multiple model. And again, for the coefficient, we will write down dollar and mention the efficient and press Control Enter. You will get the coefficient of your second table. So this is for RMM, right? So this is the first thing. Now, after doing this, we can go with the another part which is required to find out the R square. So to find out the R square, we normally use a syntax. For this, we will write down for R summary again, select summary and regression model RMM, and we will put here dollar, and we use R dot square and control enter. So you can see our R squared is 0.99, which is 99%, right? So mean we can comment here on this, comment one. So we will write down here paste because we want this statement as it is. So as you can see, the R square is 99%. 99.99% is accurate. That means we will mention here first uh, the regression model, the and the regression model, or you can simply write down the regression model is indicating indicating less of it, right? This is our statement, or in another way, words, you can mention or highlight like 99% of the variation is explained by the independent independent variables. So you can mention like this as well. Independent, right? So you can mention like this as well. So again, control enter. So here we has a where we have our comment. The 99% of the variation is explained by our independent variable. So with this, our this particular question is over. So just prepare these type of question as well. So again, best of luck, good wishes, prepare well for your exam. Thank you for watching.